Hi everybody, good morning and welcome to our latest edition of Facebook Live with our friends at GBMC. I am Gina Crash from the today's 101.9 morning show, and my new friend joining me is Cathleen Barenski. She is a certified nurse practitioner at the Vein Center at GBMC. Good morning, Kathleen.
Good morning, it's great to be here.
Oh my gosh, we're so excited. This has been such a huge popular topic. We've gotten so many of your questions that we're going to get to as many as we can, and also feel free to type out another one. It's so easy, you just have to follow GBMC on Facebook, and you can be notified for future Facebook Lives that way as well. So we'll make sure to get, we have our friend Mindy here, a social media coordinator for GBMC. She's going to be popping in and out of the audience and getting some questions live as they come over. And this is something relatively new, Kathleen, right? I mean, you've been with GBMC for a long time, and your doctors and nurse practitioners have as well, but laser hair removal and the subject of a recent Facebook Live tattoo removal is kind of a new service offered at GBMC, right?
It's new for the Vein Center.
Oh,
We've
Vein
been
Center,
doing
right.
it for about a year now, and we're really excited about it. Yeah, we have state-of-the-art equipment, a wonderful procedure room, and we've had a lot of great response, and we've had a lot of business over the last year. It's
Very
been great.
cool. It's definitely, and it's really a game changer. I've had laser hair removal, and it is a game changer. I mean, it really is. And so we have some props here, which will we get to these a little later on?
Oh, yes, we will.
Okay, as we answer questions, great. So I guess people who are watching out there might wonder, am I a good candidate for laser hair removal? What would you say to that?
So there's a couple things to consider with laser hair removal. First of all, off the bat, the laser is targeting pigment or color. So anybody, unfortunately, Gina, with white, gray, blonde, or red hair, me, the laser isn't going to target it. There's just the melanin isn't there, the chromophores, the pigment isn't there.
But the good news is you would have a lesser amount of hair, with the exception of those hair, like say if you had,
yes, that's true.
You had a little bit of gray,
not as
for
noticeable,
instance.
maybe.
Right, or, yeah, a little bit.
Yeah,
So
yeah. There's also a couple of, contraindications. I'd say they were relative contraindications, and those are for patients that are on acne medications. We have to be very careful because they make you more photosensitive. Of course, pregnant women, breastfeeding women, we cannot do as well.
Okay.
And then we'll talk about it later, but sun exposure is a huge factor in any laser treatment.
Gotcha. Very important to upfront to sort of rule out who might not be eligible. How about, is there a certain time for female candidates? Is there a certain time in their cycle, if they're going through their cycle, that is more, beneficial than others?
Not really.
No. Okay. Well, that's good to know. And so, what is the latest? I'm sure at GBMC you have the most state-of-the-art, methods for removing hair, and what are those?
Yeah. I mean, I just think that when you compare tweezing, waxing, nairing, whatever, to laser hair removal is relatively permanent. There can be, you might need a little touch-up from time to time, but the other methods you're going to be doing it every month. So laser really is
the way to go,
yeah,
especially when who's got enough time in the morning to get ready? I know we don't. So that's very helpful. And how do you determine how many treatment sessions are necessary for a patient?
So that's determined by history. It's usually 6 to 8 treatments. We have a slide that talks about the hair growth stage, and that's one of the important factors when explaining to clients that it will take that many treatments. And I think we're going to put that slide up.
If we had that slide for people to take a look at.
So the laser only targets hair in the first growth stage or the anagen stage because the hair is deepest in the follicle and it's actually in connection with the blood vessel. So the laser beam actually hits the blood vessel and closes down the follicle. In the second and third stage, the hair starts growing out of the follicle and is gone. And so at any given time, if I did a man's beard, I may hit 50% of hair in that first stage because hair all over our body grows at different rates and in different phases. So they'll need to come back in 4 weeks and have a subsequent treatment, and that's how it goes. So what happens is patients will start experiencing patchiness. Like they'll come in and say, we'll talk about how did it go, and they'll say, wow, I have areas of patchiness, and it's working. And it's just how it's very interesting.
It is, yeah. And then do you need, in the remaining areas where you have the hair that still needs to be removed, do you need a certain amount of regrowth before it's okay to come back again?
So that's a good question. what we do is, to make it simple, hair grows in different rates in different parts of our body. Neck and up, 4 weeks, trunk, 6 weeks, and legs, 8 weeks.
Okay.
So that's how we do subsequent treatments.
Great.
Yeah.
You've thought of everything, haven't you? And so what sort of areas of the body do you treat unwanted hair? And if you have, because I know I did underarms and bikini area, and there's different stages of that I'm sure you can do. And then if you have sensitive skin, which I do, will the procedure irritate some people's skin?
Well, first question, what part of the bodies? We pretty much do all parts of the bodies. I don't do eyebrows.
Okay.
The eyes are the most sensitive area to being harmed by a laser. We do have these little metal shields that go under our goggles. Can you put a pair of those on?
Oh, of course, I would like to. I'm now
if
wearing
we're
my
doing
glasses,
like
so it's perfect.
sideburns or areas that are around the face, I'll have a person put the metal goggles on and then those on top of them. But at this point in the game, I don't do eyebrows. Really, that's the only area that we won't do.
This reminds me of back in the tanning beds in the, in the 90s when you used to have to wear the goggles.
Yeah.
So this definitely will give you that coverage, like almost like a lab tech would wear.
Yeah,
like, to
and
keep
as you
anything.
can see, I'm just going to hold these up. We have different laser modes for different skin types.
Oh, wow.
And the actual laser mode, we wear different color goggles because they go with that laser protective factor for that laser. So it's really interesting.
Cool. So what am I wearing right now? What
So it's a
protective list?
1064, and on the inside of each rim you can see the laser mode. We have it all written there.
Wow, you guys
532 and a 1064.
Thought of everything. These are a lot of fun too.
So the second part of your question about sensitivity, some people do have sensitive skin, and because of that we do a test area.
Oh, that's smart.
For people who are sensitive, we do a test spot on everyone, but if you have hypersensitivity, we'll have you come back in a week. We'll do a small little section.
Better safe than sorry, right?
Right, exactly.
That's great. So, and then how long does that, you know, you were mentioning how it's semi-permanent, I guess you would say, like some, maybe some of it, what percentage of it might grow back, and then are there like, can you come in for touch-up treatments and things like that over the years?
I would say after 6 to 8 treatments in any given area, you're going to have very good success. You know, 98% of the hair will be gone, and then maybe over, you know, the next 6 to 8 months, you might have a tiny bit of hair growth. I think most patients would come back maybe every couple of years for a little touch-up.
Or if they're going on a vacation, which sounds good to me, doesn't it? And then will you start to see changes immediately after each treatment, or is it going to sort of do some shedding naturally, or what's the process?
Yeah, so the first thing that patients will see is patchiness. Yeah, because again, that anagen phase, the hairs that are in that phase, you'll start seeing patchiness. The other thing that will happen is the actual texture of the hair can change from coarse to fine. And so when a patient comes in for subsequent treatments, we talk about that. Is it patchy? Has the hair changed? And that's how I determine to change the settings or not on the laser.
So before you begin any treatments, you make sure what their experience has been, like what percentage of regrowth or you know, or you know, lack of
Any
hair they might have
prolonged
noticed.
redness. I mean, this actually feels like a mild sunburn for most people.
Oh, that's not so
Yeah,
bad.
just for a couple of hours.
And how long? I know it probably differs depending on the length of time would depend on, you know, the size of the area you were treating. But for the most part, how long can people expect the treatments to be?
Initial consultation is going to be probably 20 minutes where we'll do skin typing, we'll talk about medications, we'll talk about sun exposure, but once we get you going, it's quick. It's maybe 5 to 10 minutes. If I'm doing full arms or full back, then you're going to be there for probably a half hour.
Gotcha.
But we have a lot of GBMC employees that come on their lunch break.
Ooh.
And they're in and out of there in 10 minutes.
Wow, when they're your clients too, customers, then you know it's great, right? And do different parts of the body like react better to laser treatment than others? Like, would you ever advise somebody, you know, not to do a certain area, or it's up to them really?
No, it's really up to them. I would say that areas like a beard, areas where hair is very dense, you know, it's going to take a little bit longer.
Got to have that patience. So say you're getting ready for, you know, a big event or photo shoot or something, maybe plot that out in the future, right? And okay, everybody wants to know, and I'm wondering about these stress balls. Does it hurt? And you can be honest, Kathleen. What's the level on, you know, how does it feel, and how can you help make it feel the best it can?
It's a good question, and that's, you know, in the front of everyone's mind. And laser therapy has come such a long way. We have state-of-the-art machines. We have what's called a Zimmer. It's the third slide, and it's actually a cooling mechanism.
Oh,
it's
wow,
a little
there's the Zimmer.
wand. Yep, we love the Zimmer.
Wow, it's kind
And
of like looks kind of like a vacuum,
Yeah,
sort
it
of.
does.
Yeah.
Except it's blowing out air that's like 30 degrees below.
Oh, wow.
And we hold it a couple inches from your skin.
Holy cow.
And it really helps, sort of like an analgesic, and it prevents thermal injury. So we don't use anything topical. Patients don't need to take anything before.
Okay, any
It's
like
the Zimmer.
numbing cream or any of that
Nothing.
kind of stuff?
No, it's wonderful.
Wow.
Yeah.
And we asked people for questions beforehand. We have so many fans of GBMC's Facebook Lives that we love hearing from you guys. And Jackie had written in, what are the best conditioner hair circumstances for someone to get laser hair removal, like darker hair, or are there areas to avoid that might be more likely to get ingrown hairs,
Yeah.
like maybe the bikini area, for instance?
Yeah,
If she wanted to
Jackie,
know
that's a
that.
good question.
Yeah.
In the laser world, Snow White would be the best candidate. Light skin, dark hair.
Oh, gotcha.
Because again, the laser targets pigment. So for protective factor, lighter skin, of course. But I would say there is no, better circumstance. Everyone is different. We have different laser modes for different skin types, and that's really one of the most important things that I do when a patient comes in, as we do proper skin typing. And we get into ethnicity. Sometimes people might have a Mediterranean background or Asian background, but their skin is very fair, but they've got like hidden melanin that's dense. And I take that into consideration. It might bump them up on the skin class.
Your medical background
So-
really comes in handy for that
Yeah.
sort of thing. And as we kind of touched on this a little earlier, Connie was wondering, whether it's effective for light gray or blonde hair. And you'd mentioned earlier for gingers like yourself, where the light blonde is not going to really be as effective as, if you were
Yeah,
Snow
we
White,
won't
as you said.
even, do it on, because
Right.
we don't want to take a person's money and then have it not be
Right,
effective.
right.
So.
And by Snow White, we don't mean Snow White like you've let your hair grow naturally gray. We're talking about the
Yeah,
character
yeah.
with the jet black hair and the
Yeah,
and pale
so we
skin.
talk if people dye their hair and so forth, we talk about that.
Oh, that's true,
at the free
because
consultation. Yeah.
These caramel highlights are not natural. And Charmaine had another good question. How many sessions should I expect to need for lip or chin hair removal? That's a big area, I would imagine, for women, a concern.
Yeah, 6 to 8, I would say.
Okay.
And the nice thing about our program is we don't bundle the package.
Okay.
We do it session by session.
That's great.
So it may take 4.
Okay.
So we're not going to charge you for 6 to 8. So
Oh, that's easier to
yeah,
budget,
it's
believe
all
me.
dependent on the person.
That's excellent to
Yeah.
know. And then how about one of our Facebook users wrote in, this is a good question, what is the cost for upper lip and chin as we
Yeah.
continue, it's tax season, maybe get that refund, treat
Yeah.
yourself, what can we expect?
Yeah, so we have a detailed, breakdown that we'll talk about at the free consultation. We think that our prices are very competitive and very fair.
Cool.
Yeah, yeah.
And obviously you guys are local, so that helps big time. And what is the most low maintenance way to remove or bleach that upper lip hair? Is that probably one of the areas that you get the most questions about?
Low maintenance, that's a good question.
Yeah. Is there such a thing?
I think that the thing to think about is how often you need to repeat things. So again, with bleaching, tweezing, waxing, nairing, you're going to be repeating that every couple of weeks, once a month. The laser treatment is pretty much permanent. So in terms of maintenance, the process might be a little bit longer, but once it's gone, it's gone.
So much less to deal with
Yeah.
than when you first started out. Do you take pictures and stuff of
yeah,
in the beginning of the treatment versus stages along the way and at the end?
However, people need to shave the hair 24 hours before the treatment. So we initially were doing pictures. Pictures aren't as effective because they're coming in and there's no hair there.
Right, you're like,
and the
oh,
reason
why do
for
they need to be
that
here?
is because if the hair isn't shaved, then the laser's actually going to sizzle the hair in the clinic, and then the clinic smells like burnt hair.
Right, and that seems pleasant.
We
Yeah.
have actually one of our employees at the Vein Center is a runner. She's a marathon runner, and I asked her if I could share this, and she said yes.
Oh, good. Yeah, I love personal anecdotes. Yes.
We did her underarms, and she, after 4 to 5 treatments, she has virtually no hair. No more shaving, no chafing with the running. It's
Right.
been fantastic
Or
experience
like the
for
the
her.
bumps with the deodorant
Yeah.
and sweating or any of that stuff. And so you'll advise people to stay out of the sun too with that 24-hour shaving rule. When is there, like once you get the treatment done, should you, do you ask that question like, are you going on vacation soon or did you just come from vacation?
Absolutely,
And what's that
absolutely.
safe
So it's
zone?
2 weeks prior to, during the treatment, and after the treatment.
Okay.
It's good to know the rationale behind this.
Yeah, yeah.
One is for skin typing, because if a person comes in and they've got a tan, I'm going to skin type them at a different type. Secondly is that melanin actually is a protective factor for us, and when you get any type of a laser treatment or UV rays, your body sends melanin to that area to actually protect the underlying tissue. And what can happen is you can develop some dark patches if you get exposed to the sun after laser treatment, because you've had some intense heat in your body, and if you go out in the sun without using an SPF greater than 30, you're going to put yourself at risk of hyperpigmentation.
Wow, and is that something that ultimately you would have to like laser off that dark patches, I guess, right?
Some of it, several weeks later, your body will reabsorb the pigment.
Wow,
some people do. It's called post-inflammatory hyperpigmentation after.
So you're cautioning for a good reason.
Yeah.
And we have a live question Mindy's going to tell us from our Facebook Live feed. What do we got, Mindy?
We do have a question from Laura, and she says, if you're blonde but have darker hair regrowth after shaving, would you qualify for laser hair removal?
Absolutely, yes. Yep.
Cool. Well, thank you. Thank you for your question.
People have, as we all know, different parts of our body. Sometimes the hair growth, the hair color is different. It's just how it is.
Gosh,
So,
and you
yeah.
know what? We are running out of time, but I want to make sure that we talk about your upcoming tattoo and laser hair removal screening, which is coming up at the Vein Center at GBMC February 26th, which, wait a minute, that's this Monday,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
At 4 p.m. So can anybody come? Do you have to be a patient of GBMC?
Anybody can come.
Anybody can come. You
Yeah.
hear that? Isn't that amazing? And what kind of things you'll be able to get more information?
Yeah, we'll talk about pricing. We'll do skin typing. We'll do the whole thing. So
Awesome.
that when they come in for their appointment, they'll be all set to go. We can do the first treatment instead of having them come back for a consultation.
Wow.
So it will take the place.
Knock
actually,
that
of
out,
a-
right?
Yes.
Here's a good question from Henny real quick. I think we have time. I have spent a lot of money on electrolysis last year, and last year laser hair removal. I still have about 7 dark hairs and 4 thick blonde hairs on my face. Aha, there's the blonde hair on my face and chin that I have to shave daily. Is your program different than electrolysis and laser?
No, I mean, it's different than electrolysis. Electrolysis is one hair at a time, treating one hair at a time with heat.
And that was more old school. We've heard about that.
Electrolysis
ago.
is still,
Still
going
being used.
strong. But the nice thing about laser is it spans a whole area. It's not one hair at a time. And for that person, Henny, I think maybe I would ask how many treatments did you have with the laser? Maybe you just didn't follow through with enough.
Okay, very good. Are there any, we have to ask this, are there any risks associated with laser hair removal?
Good
And that's
question.
a very good question. Yeah.
Yes, with any laser treatment, there certainly is a risk of hyperpigmentation again. We'll go through all the contraindications as we talked about. Of course, blistering, scabbing is on our consent form, but every person is treated, we go through your history and we do skin typing and everything to prevent that type of risk. But
Great.
yeah.
And what can they expect after treatment? Another person that wrote in on Facebook Live wanted to know, and I guess that could be two-parted. That could be like, after you're all done, and then
Yeah.
also are there, other than the sun, some things like that you could use to sort of, soothe that area, like maybe, I don't know, aloe or lotion
That's
or
exactly what we use.
moisturizer?
We use a pure form of aloe.
I guessed I was right.
You did.
I think
You're
I'm getting a job
absolutely.
at the Vein Center. What do you think? I'm not
You
qualified,
may expect to have like a mild sunburn for a couple of hours. Darker skin pigmented people might be a little bit more prolonged. But yeah, that's about it. And expect to wear sunscreen, especially if we're doing hair removal on your face.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
We have another Facebook user that says, I grow hair on my chin. I don't know if this is a male or a female, but maybe a woman. I don't know. Or either would be a good question. I grow hair on my chin, and I hate it to the point that I have to conceal it with makeup. I'm not a makeup person, but I also don't want chin hairs and razor bumps. So how is your program different from these techniques? And they don't say what color their hair is, but let's just assume they were the ideal candidate. That's Snow White, right?
Yeah, yeah.
The character.
I don't know what other techniques they're referring to, actually.
Yeah, right,
but
right.
one thing that I will say,
Maybe plucking or
yeah,
something
yeah,
like that.
it's just more permanent. But
Yeah.
if you do pluck, wax, any nair, you can't do that for 4 weeks prior to this because we want that hair deep in the follicle. We don't want them pulled out. So just to let you know on that.
Great.
But we'll go over the pre-treatment procedure
Oh, yeah, they're,
guidelines.
the pre-treatment guidelines.
We'll go over that at your free screening.
Okay, now that's and that's kind of like an individual thing. Like we can't really run down they're all kind of different on a case-by-case basis.
Yeah, no
right?
sun exposure, shave the day before, don't wear perfumes and lotions, that sort of thing.
Okay,
So,
that's
yeah.
kind of what you hear when you're getting a mammogram.
Yeah.
I'm getting all, which is another topic for another time. And we're hoping that people are watching our GBMC Facebook Live right now, and we encourage you to type up those questions real quick because I think Colin, our audio master, how much more time we got? A couple more minutes. Okay, Mindy, anything going on in the Twitter sphere out there? No, or the cyber universe.
See if there's anything else.
Yeah. Well, we also had Zoe who had written in. Zoe said that I would like to get laser hair removal, but I'm afraid that it'll leave spots or burn marks on my face. They tried it once and it wasn't a pleasant experience. It took almost a year, she said, for the spot to go away, only to be told that the machine they had did not work for dark pigment. And my question is, why do you have to shave before a laser treatment? Won't that make the hair grow faster and thicker? That's a good question because you hear that a lot, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
It
that's
won't
not
make
so.
it grow. I mean, you have to shave the hair before the treatment. And in terms of the spots, again, I think we spoke a little bit towards that about the
we did.
hyperpigmentation.
Yep.
Staying sun exposure post is really most important. And just one last thing, if you do have excessive hair growth as a woman on your face, your chest, or your back, I would say that there may be a need to get some hormonal testing to make sure that you don't have what's called hirsutism. And we've actually sent a couple of patients back to the primary care providers to have that testing because the laser treatment won't be effective if you have that, and it can be treated very easily with hormone therapy.
Because the body will continue to produce that extra hair.
But we can certainly treat you after we rule that out, and once you're treated, we would love to help.
I love that medical background, that you really know you're getting the best possible advice. And Mindy was saying we have quite a few Facebook comments. Did you want to share any of those with us today?
I actually, I just had a question. Do
Sure.
you mind reiterating how people can reach out to join the screening, to sign up for the screening?
right,
And if they
right.
can't make the screening appointment, is there another option for them to be
Yeah.
evaluated for the service?
Absolutely.
Very
You
cool.
can go to our website, the Vein Center GBMC, and all the information about the free screening is there, and there's a form stack where you can fill out a form, and our secretary will call you and set up the appointment. Or you can call our office, 443-849-6123, and Crystal will be happy to set you up for a free consultation.
That's great.
We're there 5 days a week.
Oh, wonderful. And then again, the upcoming tattoo and laser hair removal screening is at the Vein Center at GBMC. And that is coming up this Monday, February 26th. And it starts at 4 p.m. So that's a perfect time, right on your way home from work or whatever. That is so great. Well, you've been such a wealth of information and so friendly and so helpful. And you even brought props today. We can't thank you enough. We know how busy you are, Cathleen Barenski, certified nurse practitioner at the Vein Center at GBMC. Want to thank you for your time and your expertise.
You're welcome. It's
look
been
forward-
great to be here.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yep.
We look forward to seeing you at the screening coming up this Monday, February 26th, starting at 4 p.m. And if we haven't gotten to answering your questions, we'll definitely do that. And you can also check back for future Facebook Lives with GBMC. Just make sure to like GBMC on Facebook, and it's as easy as that. And we look forward to our next GBMC Facebook Live, which I think is with my co-host, Greg Carpenter, and he's always a lot of fun to watch and learn from as well. So thank you guys for watching today, and thank you for supporting GBMC. I'm Gina Crash from today's 101.9. Thanks for watching.
Thank you.